Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world heavyweight champion, 2-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, they call him the boat. He's out there in Hollywood, man. Hollywood was all good. You understand what I'm saying? But now, man, I'm feeling good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, baby. How you feel, dog? How you feel being out there in Hollywood?
Well, first off, Happy New Year to you too, Book. You know what's great? You know, every time we've been out here for something, right? I mean, I always love coming to California. It's always a nice stop. But it's been cold and rainy the whole time I've been out here. I mean, rain. Not just like a little rain, a whole hell of a lot of rain, which we're used to in Houston, not used to in Hollywood. But it's been lovely out here. It's been lovely. It's a great way to start off the year. I was at the Critics' Choice Awards last night, and what I want to say is this. I was leaving the Critics. Okay, cool. I was leaving the Critics' Choice Awards, and we're making the way down the red carpet. And you know who I see? I don't know. You might remember him by name, but you definitely remember him by face. I was shoulder to shoulder, or should I say shoulder to elbow, with Omar Benson Miller. Omar Benson Miller, an actor. He was in Sinners this year. He played Cornbread. He's been in 8 Mile, so many things. But he and I bumped into each other, and he looked at me like, hey, don't I know you? And I go, you may or may not remember this, but me, you, your brother, and Booker T were at the Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz fight together. And we all sat, I don't know if you remember this, all 4 of us sat together. And you and him, he was like, I remember this, because Booker and I were the only ones who thought Luis Ortiz was going to win the fight in the whole arena. And it looked like he was going to win the fight until Deontay snatched his soul away from him. And I was like, okay, so you do remember. I remember that night. It was a fun night. So he was cool. You know, he was said to say hello.
Hey, man. You know, it's cool to be in the place, man. It's cool to be in the house, right? You know what I mean?
It's definitely cool to be in the house. You know what? What I wanted to do mainly for you was Leo was there, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, and I wanted to go over and tell him about the Shakespeare Phantom of the Opera, Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Yeah. But I didn't get a chance to go over there. But, you know, all the stars were in the house. All the stars were in the house last night. So it was cool. You know, Kylie Jenner, Timothy Chalamet, you know, everywhere you looked. Yeah. You know, Benicio del Toro and I had a nice little conversation with each other. Kathy Bates was in the building. I mean, it was everybody. Everybody was there.
Yeah, you feel a certain way, too. You know, when you grew up, you watch these people, you know, now you're in the room with them. You know, I got a chance to do that once. I was being honored, and you know, the person that I admired, he was being honored at the same time, and it was Gail Sayers. And I was like, wow, you got to be kidding me, man. And I'm looking across the room, and I tell Charmel, I go, that's Gail Sayers. You know, and I said it like a little kid. I'm whispering it. And she goes, yeah, that's Gail Sayers. You know, what you going to meet him? You know, and I went over like a little kid. You know, I met him, I shook his hand, and we took a photo, and I got that photo, you know, on my wall, you know, so it's amazing, you know, when you meet your heroes, you know, and they turn out to be real heroes too. You know?
Especially coming from this city, from Houston, right? Because in Houston, it's like we're a big city, but we're not like a glitz and glam town, right? Yeah, we're real people town, you know, working people town. Yeah. And so when you go and you see the opulence of a major event, I mean, I was thinking about you just the other day going in the Hall of Fame, because I was explaining to somebody who Bruno Sammartino was. I'm like, Bruno Sammartino sold the Garden out 123 times in a row, whatever it was. One of the biggest stars in wrestling history. And then Bob Backlund and Mick Foley and Trish Stratus. I mean, that was your Hall of Fame class. Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible class. I mean, and then, I mean, look, not for nothing, you know, a future president was in the class too. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it was a crazy, that's the craziest Hall of Fame class, I think, of all time. I think the 2013 class is the best class.
I tell you, for me, going into the Hall of Fame with Bruno Sammartino, that right there for me, oh man. I mean, I got a chance to ride with Bruno in the limo back in the day once. Can't remember where Bruno and I was going, but he reminded, how many times you say he sold out the Garden?
like 125 or something like that.
He reminded me of that several times on that ride. Because every time he tell a story when it was about to go, and he would say "sold out." And I can't tell you how many stories it was he told me, but every one of them was sold out.
Well, but isn't that like? I wonder if he started. I wonder if he started that in wrestling, because anytime somebody tells a wrestling story, it's always they were sold out from the rafters. You know, you couldn't get a seat in the house. We had them, going crazy. Road Warrior Pop '88.
Yeah.
You know that's like. I wonder if Bruno started that. But you know what? If you sold out the Garden that many times, you'd have to tell people.
Well, you definitely want people to know it.
Yeah.
You definitely want people to know. That's one of those moments that it's like me saying 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. You want people to remember it. You know that you was the guy that went into the Garden and did that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, to sell out the Garden as a professional wrestler that many times, it says a whole lot about the business back then. But it speaks some volume to Bruno Sammartino, because we always say in this business, for the guy that's in the main event, thanks for the house. Thanks for the house,
brother.
Thanks for the house, brother. And that right there is a testament to that guy that's holding it down. And Bruno, he held it down for many, many years. The business was so different back then, man. It was so freaking different back then.
Yeah, it's a whole different. But I mean, that's still the territory days and stuff. But to still sell out Madison Square, which is just it's the world's most famous arena, and to do it so many times in a row, and to be the guy, and he was the champion for what 7 years or whatever it was.
No, but wrestling was so real to the fans back then when Bruno was doing it. You know what I mean? Selling out the Garden was like Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali selling out the Garden. It was a lot of money being made, off of professional wrestling back in the day, from a territorial perspective. You know what I mean? Because of stars like superstar Billy Graham, stars like Bruno Sammartino, and so freaking many more. I wish I was a fly on the wall and just could have been able to see it, man. I always talk about that slideshow, being able to, see it through someone's eyes, man. I wish I could have seen what it was like, coming up back in the day like that.
Well, it makes me think about they just released the trailer. When I say they, I mean Netflix and WWE, for Unreal Season 2. And Unreal made a lot of I guess people had a lot to say about Unreal last year. And I think you and I talked about it on the show. I understand it. Was I in love with some of the stuff that they did? No, just as a kind of a coming up under you, I'm an old school kind of guy in that regard, like protect the business. But what I actually loved is it starts off with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman says, "I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I hate this show. I hate this idea of this show. I come from a time where you guarded the secrets of this business because your livelihood depended on it." And leave it to Paul Heyman to be able to eloquently execute why people feel the way that they do. Some guys feel the way that they do about the show, at the same time being in the show. It's like the most Paul Heyman thing. I'm going to tell you why I don't like this show, but I'm going to get myself over while I'm on it for sure. Right? Like that's what he's being one of the boys.
Well, Paul Heyman's smart enough to know that he can't, resurrect time and go back to the way it was. He knows the times has changed, and he better figure out how to move with the times. It's just that simple. It really is. Because if you don't, the times will pass you by, and you'll still be thinking about how it was back in the day. For me, that's why I always talk about how, young people are the future. Young people are, why I respect them so much, because they are going to be guiding this ship. And if you don't understand how to pivot and go along with the program, sometimes you could be the one left out, literally, watching the parade just go by. You wonder what the hell's going on, how'd this happen? And I think that's it more than anything. I really do.
But has your opinion at all shifted on Unreal? Like, do you see it as like a necessity for the business? Do you see it as like we don't really need to do this?
It's not something that I'm totally keen or high on or anything like that, but I do understand the times have changed. I do understand there's no kayfabe anymore. I understand that people want to know the insides workings of the business. Is it going to deter them from watching it or anything like that? I think it's proven that it hasn't, deterred fans from, not watching professional wrestling. I think people want to get inside and learn even more about it. Is it a great thing? I don't know, but I do know that right now we got AI, and right now everything has changed, everything has flipped, and if we don't know how to go with the times, man, the times would truly pass us by. And I just don't want to be on that side of the coin. You know what I mean? I know we got to take a break. Guys, you're inside the Hall of Fame. I know you guys might probably have some questions, that some stories that's been going on over in AEW as far as, some stuff happened that William Regal had to even talk about. I don't know. Yeah. We might want to speak on it. But if you got any questions, just hit us up here inside the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah, man. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got BlueChew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because BlueChew just isn't a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all in one.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex, shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of BlueChew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried BlueChew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights. That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, we can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security. It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with BlueChew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with BlueChew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of BlueChew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join BlueChew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, kid, you dig that, sucker? Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, baby. You know what I've been thinking about all week, man? You know what I've been thinking about all week? It's stuck in my damn head. Is that Joe Hendry song? I'm serious, man. You know what I mean? It's stuck in my damn head, man. I've been working on the second half of the lyrics and everything, trying to make sure I get it right when I go back on the air, man. You know, people have been in the office been telling me to tone it down a little bit. You know, take a step back. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I don't know if I can hold back. You know, when Joe Hendry's songs start playing, because it's something about the damn song. You know, I believe in Joe Hendry. I don't know what it is, but it's catchy. It's a catchy tune. Yeah.
It's a great record. It's really catchy. It's really, really catchy. And you're okay. Why don't you settle this?
A rendition.
Let's settle this on your rendition because the audience loved it. For one, you singing the Joe Hendry theme song because you definitely believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
But do you want to set the record straight? Because the comments were split on if you were doing it as Booker T, as Black Snow, or as the Macho Man Randy Savage. This is what the comments were split on, and I want you to be able to illuminate us. Who were you singing as?
I was doing it as me. I was just excited. I wasn't trying to be Macho Man Savage or anybody. I was just being excited. The song had me. I don't know. That's the voice that came out. You know what I mean, I don't know where it came from. That's normally not my singing voice, but for that song, it is.
Well, can I say? I think I know why that's your singing voice on that song because it's a similar singing voice to when you would do Ethan Page's theme. I think that might be your white guy singing voice. I think that might be what it is. I think it's like you're like, this is what a white guy sings like. I believe in Joe Hendry. Ego.
It is kind of the same. I never thought about it. And then I get a brother's some cool stuff.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh man, I never thought about it that way, man.
That's your white voice. That's your white singing voice.
It could be right, man. It could be true. I'm serious.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. What do you think about Joe Hendry now kind of being a full-time NXT roster member? He had a hell of a 2025, being in the Royal Rumble, being the TNA World Champion, competing against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, having the battle that he had with Trick Williams, which is one of the great feuds between TNA and NXT over last year. Now he's full-time on the brand. He's a full member of the roster, as far as it seems like to me. So how do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I really do. I mean, big props to Carlos Silva. All right. Big props. The CEO of TNA Wrestling, man. To be able to make something like this happen, to be able to create this transition for these guys that are, mainstream superstars, and they should be getting television play like mainstream superstars, and they should be getting paid like mainstream superstars at the same time. And what a better way to be able to facilitate something like that for a wrestler like a Joe Hendry. I mean, look at this kid, Leon Slater. You know what I mean? These guys are getting opportunities. I look at what they're doing with AAA. Those AAA wrestlers, man, are seeing life totally different now. Seeing things they've never seen before from a protection standpoint, from a money standpoint, from, a medical standpoint. It's amazing. So for me, this partnership, and I was reading that, it's in stone to like 2028 or something like that.
Yeah.
I love being able to see guys like Joe Hendry get their piece of the action. You know what I mean? Just their little piece of the pie and take it and go around the world with this thing, man, because I got a chance to go around the world, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. It really truly is. And I implore, the talent out there to, work your asses off to put yourselves in position to actually be able to make that ride and take that trip.
Well, and okay, let me start with TNA. It's the smartest move for TNA to have made this decision because one, I think that their relationship with WWE has helped their television product, being able to utilize certain stars on their show, has actually helped their television product to the point of they got a new television deal. I'm not saying that it's direct result of the relationship with WWE, but the partnership with NXT definitely helped facilitate that deal with AMC. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Then second, if you're Silva and hey, some of my talent, their ultimate goal and where they know the big money is going to be is in the WWE, and that's where the Jordan Graces or the Joe Hendrys want to eventually end up. Hey, let me have this deal with them to where I can still have star power on my show, right? I can still get an AJ Styles to come do Slammiversary. I can have Trick Williams be the heavyweight champion of my company, and still have a star power appeal to my TNA Impact show. It's such a brilliant thing. And then for the NXT guys and girls, they get to work people in different venues, different crowds, different experience levels, who know the system differently than they've been taught it. So it just helps broaden their horizon. And if Trick Williams, if this TNA deal did not exist, I don't think we see Trick Williams on the main roster as fast as he's gotten there with the reception and reaction that he got on Friday night. Now, it was obviously missing a little bookerism on the entrance, but the whole crowd was saying, whoop that Trick in unison. And that's 20,000 people for his first time on the show. Not too bad. And I think that's in relationship to the TNA deal. In part.
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, first of all, congratulations to my man Trick Williams. Congratulations. Went out there and represented OG style, man, with them lemon pepper steppers on. You know what I'm saying? Looking real fly, debonair. No, man, he's definitely paid his dues. I was looking at a thing on YouTube, and they was showing the first time that Trick Williams showed up in NXT. He was a guard for what's the guy name? Turn the backflips, black guy. Man, I can't remember his name, man. But he was like an African guard, and then he was an extra, you know, and then he was something else, and then he was with Carmelo. But just showing the rise of Trick Williams, and that goes to whatever role they put you in, play it to the best of your ability to something better come along. Playing that guard, just watching him, all he was doing was just standing there. He looked so
Apollo Crews.
Yeah. My bad. It just seeing him stand there like that, it was amazing. Then just to watch the evolution of Trick, it was just, you play that role, man. Play that role, and you work on your craft. And then when you get your shots, you go out there and you try to knock it out of the park. That's the only guarantees you got in this business. And I give that young man, like I say, big props for picking this thing up as quick as he possibly did. And I'm glad to have had a chance to work with Trick too, man. That's what's cool. Also, me having a chance to, get into the, what we used to say, put the black mask on, self-interrogation mode and ask ourselves those serious questions as far as what are we doing here? Why are we doing it? And what do we need to do to get better? That's what I appreciate with Trick Williams.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, you know how easy it would have been for him to just have only ever been Carmelo's number 2 in NXT? I mean, so many people can get pigeonholed in that position. And also think, hey, I got a spot. This guy's top guy on the show right now. I'm his ace. That's a good spot. And sometimes it's hard for that guy to break out of that in the audience's eyes. The audience is almost similar to you when you were in Harlem Heat. The audience kind of anointed you, right? Before the bookers or the promoters did, the audience said, no, hey, this guy's awesome. We want to see more of him. And it was a very similar organic thing with Trick. Is when Trick was with Carmelo, they loved Carmelo, but they started saying, hey, we like this Trick guy too. We want to see him do something. And, that started the Trick Mello story, which was also a thing that helped catapult him. But this is a guy who he had it. He had the desire. He had the want. He had the willpower. He went to the right, learning trees, if you will, in order to figure out how do I accelerate this. Because you were on the independents, quote unquote, for how long? 2 years, 3 years?
Me.
Yeah, you.
I was never on the Indies. What are you talking about?
You weren't on the Indies. I'm sorry. Before you got to WCW, you were on television.
I was on Global television, which was on ESPN.
It was on ESPN. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when did you get to WCW? It was 3 years.
It was 2 years.
2 years, right? Okay, so relatively fast.
Yeah.
And Trick Williams in 2024 was headlining Stand and Deliver, right? And now he's starting off 2026 as a member of the SmackDown roster. And you see this guy, and you just know he's got to be something. You know it immediately.
Yeah, no, Trick, he definitely got the goods, man. But
Main eventer. He could be a main eventer in WrestleMania.
in a heartbeat, just like me, my first pay-per-view in WCW, 2 years in the business. It happens. It happens for some of us. Stick around, y'all. Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, this is Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Fame. I got something for you guys, man. Look, when I was a kid, man, cereal was my jam, but now, since I'm a grown man, I'm looking for something that gives me more than just a sugar rush and carbs, man. That's when I found Magic Spoon. Look, it's a cereal that gives you the taste of your childhood favorites, but without sugar and packed with tons of protein.
And if you're already a fan of Magic Spoon, then you need to listen up to this because I've got some big news. Magic Spoon has taken that amazing cereal that we all love and turned it into high-protein treats. These new treats are light, they're crispy, and they become my go-to snack, especially before or even after the gym.
Yeah, man, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carb. That fruity and cocoa flavor are the classic ones, but there's a whole lot more to try, man.
And those new treats, they've got 12 grams of protein and come in flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Perfect when you're on the go or you need a quick snack to fuel up before that workout.
Yeah, man, I keep a box in my gym bag, but it's a great late night snack as well. Those treats have that crispy texture, great taste, and the macros that make you feel good about eating them.
So Magic Spoon's bringing back those nostalgic flavors, but without all the stuff that we don't want. So if you want to try it for yourself and get $5 off your next order, go to magicspoon.com/HOF. That's magicspoon.com/HOF. Or you can even find it on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store.
That's magicspoon.com/HOF for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hey guys, I miss you guys. I'm serious, man. I miss being live. I saw a post talking about us not having live shows all the time. Guys, it's been the holiday season. Me and Brad, we had to take some time off. We posted, Shawn Michaels, one of our greats. We post, greatest shows, greatest episodes sometimes. We do that. I mean, all I can say is enjoy the ride, as well as Antonio Suarez. I want to say thank you for reaching out. Happy 20th anniversary for reality wrestling. 20 years, man. 20 years we've been doing this thing, and God willing, we're gonna be doing another 20, and we're going long and strong. 2026. We said 2023 was going to be our best year, and then we said 2024 was going to be our best year. Then we said 2025, and 2025 was a hell of a year, y'all. But 2026, we're about to hit 900,000 YouTube subscribers. So, guys, jump on. If you're not on board with YouTube, if you're on board, tell somebody. But 2026, we're about to break somebody off some real proper and I'm excited about it. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, yeah, and right now on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel, right after the Hall of Fame is over, you can watch the 20th anniversary edition of Glory, which was filmed at our Sub-Zero event, and then a 20-year celebration of Platinum will be right after it later this week, showcasing, something that got a lot of headlines, and I don't want to give it away for people who haven't seen it yet, but the headlines have been out there about reality wrestling lately, and really about you, Book. People still think that you're putting your nose where it doesn't belong when it comes to the reality of wrestling title picture. They say that, Mr. Limelight, perhaps we know that he never works alone, but perhaps you're influencing things from behind the scenes. I don't know if you have a comment to that, but that was a specific accusation levied at you by one Zilla Fatu on social media this week.
Look, I would never lie. You know me, I would never lie. And yes, I do influence things. It's my company. I'm supposed to influence things. It's about business. And I thought Zilla Fatu learned that a long time ago. I'm talking about when I first took him in as a little boy. as a little boy at Reality of Wrestling and raised him to be a man. I thought he learned that at Street Justice when I had to chastise that young man and put him back in his place, because you know how parents are. You know how parents are, Brad. You know, we will bring you in this world, but we will take you out at the same time. And that's what people like Zilla Fatu need to understand. This is not a promo. This is not hyperbole or anything like that. This is real talk. And people like Zilla Fatu need to understand this. You know what? I wish I could go back 20 years. I wish I could go back, 20 years and show these youngsters, what it's really all about as far as these right here, as far as these. But I'm going to let them have their day. I'm going to let them have their day. You know what I mean? I heard Bron Breakker said, it's our time. And you know what? Bron Breakker, you're right. You're right. It's your time, young man.
Well, Bron Breakker's great. And I think that, obviously huge things are in the cards for Bron Breakker. But it's interesting that you bring up 20 years just because in 2026, in 2025, we're celebrating 20 years of reality wrestling. In 2026, it's the 20th anniversary of King Booker.
Yeah.
In 2026. How does that make you feel? Does it feel like 20 years ago?
You know what, man? I leave the past in the past. I always think about I'm not one that I don't go around thinking about King Booker all the time, even though I watch some King Booker clips, sometimes just to laugh, just to, because I want to see something stupid. But I don't live in the past, but doesn't seem like 20 years, you know what I mean? But it does seem like 20 years at the same time, man. I was talking about King Booker and I can't remember what we was talking about, but someone had thought I had played King Booker for like 3 years, and I had only played King Booker for like a year, but it seemed like it was 3 years. It seemed like it was a really, really long time. King Booker was, on television, but it was only like about a year and a couple of months or something like that, But man, I don't know, man. Life's tricky, But it was. I try not to look at time and space like that, but it was a great run. It seemed like it was a long time ago, but it seemed like it was just yesterday at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy how much, just as a fan, I can't believe it's been 20 years, but it feels like it, but it doesn't, right? Like, I know what you mean 100% by that. Yeah. And speaking of that, 26 years since the debut of Chris Jericho in the WWE, I think maybe even 27 years this month. And now there's talk that tonight he's going to make his return on Monday Night Raw, because Adam Pearce, the general manager of Raw, said huge matches tonight. We're going to be breaking the walls down to start 2026. Now, I don't know if that's just them trying to generate some buzz. The rumor was Jericho's contract ended on the 31st of December. It's now the 5th of January. You would think he might be free and clear. What do you think? Do you think we see Jericho back in the WWE? I know it's hard to say.
I wouldn't be surprised, not one bit, if Jericho showed up tonight, just like he did, in 2000, when the music played, the countdown, and boom, turn around, big fist pump, make that walk to the ring, man. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we see that Chris Jericho with that same intro tonight on television. Hey, man, it's only fitting, for Chris to end his career in the WWE. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative about AEW or anything. I don't even want to mention AEW because somebody will write it in a certain aspect. But he went over to AEW and, he did what he did over there. And to be able to come back, and just like me when I went to TNA, did my thing. And then I was like, man, I would love to finish it in WWE. I didn't know how I was going to get back there. I think circumstances just happened to play out properly. You know what I mean? Rumble was coming up. Tough Enough was coming up. Got my foot back in the door, whatnot. So for Chris Jericho, I'm sure he would be able to write his own, ticket this time around as far as, man, I got this many dates, you know what I mean? We could squeeze me in here, whatnot. You know, he get paid this amount of money, and then go in the Hall of Fame and wrap this thing. Yeah, man, I can see that happening. Yeah, heck yeah, no doubt.
I mean, and why not, right? Like, why not if you have the opportunity? Because as far as AEW goes, what Chris Jericho was able to do for AEW, I mean, it helped launch that company, right? I mean, it helped launch that company, you know, him being the guy that they were attached to. And also, to me, with Jericho, he helped, you know, really try to shine some people up, the younger talent. I mean, he got a Brian Keith, you know, as part of his stable. Him and MJF had their first, MJF's real big main event feud was with Jericho, and also showing aspects in different layers to the MJF character was a part of what Jericho did with that Le Dinner Debonair. I mean, there was just, and he was the first AEW champion. Like, I could go on and on about everything that he was able to do with the company. And to me, it's like, I'm sure he could still stay there and be creatively satisfied and make a huge payday and ride off into the sunset, and he'd be perfectly happy. And if that's what he wants, that's his entire prerogative. But as a fan of Chris Jericho, as a fan of the WWE, it would just be great to see him back in the Rumble one more time, or see him at WrestleMania. What are you laughing at? What's funny?
I know people are going to take this the wrong way, right? I know they're going to take the wrong way.
Here we go.
I'm going to say it anyway.
Do it.
Chris Jericho actually could come back to WWE, have a run, go into the Hall of Fame, then go back to AEW.
That would be sensational.
It can happen. It can happen. I'm just throwing it out there. But that's something that has legs. Trust me.
Do you think, I mean, because like almost everybody who went over to WCW back in the day ended up coming back to the company, to WWE afterward, right? Almost everybody. I think Mach might have been the only one.
Yeah.
Who didn't come back. So it could happen. It could happen. You know what? And if it does, good for him. I just think that a Jericho, and like, to me, his legacy is already cemented. He didn't have to wrestle another match, and he's still Chris Jericho. He's going to be mentioned, such as yourself, with the all-time greats of this industry. But, you know, for me to see him finish in WWE, it's like the movies. Like if it's like a superhero movie, right? Sometimes they have like those multiverses, you know, like we're like, oh, hey, this happened in this alternate timeline. To me, like when somebody's outside of the WWE, it seems like a multiverse of them. It's like not the one that we know, not like the timeline that I'm aware of. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like when Jericho in the WWE, that's like how he finished the timeline. And to me, it's like the paper of record. It's like the New York Times, the WWE is.
If you had to write the show, right? And you know me, I don't like writing the show.
Yeah.
But I, in this situation, with Chris Jericho coming back, I would want to write the show just for a moment.
Okay.
And if Chris Jericho came out, bang, break the walls down, you know, big, like I say, turn, pyro, whatnot, all the lights, whatever, make the walk to the ring, you know, cut the promo. Who's the guy that their music is going to play and that guy's going to walk out on stage? Who's the guy?
To cut him off?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you just mentioned him, like a Braun Breaker or Logan Paul.
That's what I said.
Logan Paul.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be such great freaking. I'm just saying. If I had the pen, you know.
What a great call.
Yeah.
Logan Paul Jericho feud.
Oh man, because you know that they're almost like mirror images from a perspective, you know, especially
in a way.
From a working perspective too, you know, with turning the flips and whatnot, you know. Oh man, yeah. That if I had the pen for one night, I think I would write it like that.
Look, that's a money feud, Jericho and Logan Paul.
Yeah,
you know, and I know. Like it's funny when I because people outside of the wrestling world know who Logan Paul is.
Oh man, we gotta take a break.
Let's take a break. We'll talk about it.
Hey guys, stick around. We'll talk about Logan Paul Jericho on the rebound. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando whole body deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. You know, the most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book, and let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long-lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time since switching to Mando. I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got his aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We just talking a little sports and entertainment. You know, talking about everything going on in the sport of pro wrestling. We got some NXT talk we definitely got to talk about, but I see people in the chat right now definitely chatting about what we're talking about as far as Logan Paul and Chris Jericho, perhaps mixing it up. Like I say, for me, I don't know why that kind of like just like jumped out at me, those two, but I see Logan Paul, like I say, being a mirror image of Chris Jericho when he came in, as far as his wrestling prowess, you know, his mic skills, his arrogance. You know, so much of those two guys remind me of each other. So I think that's what it is more than anything.
Well, and what I was saying too, and I agree with you, and I don't think I put together the fact that they have so similar until you brought it up. But you know, Logan Paul, when I talk to people who aren't wrestling fans or don't watch the product, they know who Logan Paul is because he's an internet celebrity before he came to WWE. And I say, look, this guy's got no right to be as good as he is. He's sensational. He's fantastic at what he does. He's incredible. Like from the time we saw him at WrestleMania in Dallas in 2022 till now, he works as good as anybody at the top of the card, in my opinion. Right? He's super good. And to me, him and Jericho, you're right. They just marry each other in so many different ways. And Logan, more than even his in-ring prowess, he's great at a promo. He's a great promo. He understands how to get under people's skin. He understands what to do and how to utilize it. And Jericho, I think, would be so good in a battle with him on the mic, just as much in the ring. And that's how you sell it, right? We know a promo to promote the match. And they would sell that match, brother.
Because once upon a time, Jericho was Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I just get it out there. I mean, it's a story that going to go down like forevermore, that, you know, we're going to be hearing and seeing, you know, and for this guy was once upon a time, you know, and that's the story. It's written, but Jericho can still go. Jericho can still go out there and, you know, float in the middle of the ring. So I think that's where this matchup would really play big dividends at WrestleMania. I mean, did I say that?
You know, also, just think about this, because we got WrestleMania in Vegas this year, but we got WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year. Can you imagine the paychecks for the boys next year if we can get a Jericho, Logan, Paul with a title on the line or something?
I'm trying to get on that loop. I'm trying my best to get on that loop, guys. If anybody out there hear me that's got anything to do with the pen, who's put names down, hit me up, man, because I'm trying to get on that tour, man, to Saudi, big time. I mean, hey, hey, look here, I'm keeping it real, man. I'm keeping it real. I was looking at an interview that I did. And I was just talking about some retro stuff, and the question came up about did I feel any kind of way about the Triple H match, at WrestleMania, and I said, if I felt any kind of way, it was before I saw the check. And then I said, can we rerun this next year? Same match.
Same finish. For everybody who was upset, you have to slow cover. For every second it took Triple H to get over there was another 0 that was added to the paycheck.
Hey, people do talk about the slow cover. They give me a lot of heat about the slow cover.
They give you a ton of heat.
Take a look how long it took me to cover Rey Mysterio after he got hit with a steel chair. Go back and watch how long it took me to cover Rey Mysterio. I got on my knees and crawled like a little baby, all fours, because I don't know if people understand or not. This is like a drama-driven sport, and you're supposed to, do stuff like that at certain times. I never really thought about it, until I've heard people, say, how long the count was. I got to go back and look at it, actually.
It wasn't as long as I think. It's it's a Mandela effect. People think it's longer than it is.
What is the Mandela effect?
You know the Mandela effect?
He was in prison longer than
there was the Mandela effect explains this theory that we have a collective conscious that sometimes we remember something. We all remember it, but it never existed. So people had this distinct memory of seeing Nelson Mandela's funeral in the 80s, but Nelson Mandela didn't die until 2015 or 14, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
There's that people think that there's a Sinbad movie called Shazam, but it never existed. But people have a distinct memory of seeing this movie where he plays a genie. There's all these kind of things. You should look up the Mandela effect. It's pretty.
Wait a minute. A Sinbad movie called Shazam.
Yeah. Do you remember it?
I remember something like that.
Yeah, it didn't exist. And I remember it too, but it never happened.
Maybe it was something that they were talking about doing.
I don't know. But it's a real effect. There's several of them.
But that's not an effect. It's not an effect if it's something that I remember seeing something and hearing somebody talk about, right?
Well, no. I don't think there was ever. Sinbad said this is not a real thing. This never happened. I don't know why people think this has happened, but people distinctly remember a Shazam movie called with Sinbad where he plays a genie, but it never happened. It's the Mandela effect.
The comedian Sinbad.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So do I, but it never happened.
All right.
That's the Mandela effect.
Okay.
So again, I don't know if it was a Mandela effect of people thinking that it took him longer to cover.
Okay. And it means what again?
It's like I can look up the actual
something
thing,
that didn't really happen, but we think it happened.
But everyone remembers it happening.
Okay,
yeah.
I can use.
Great example.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can use this on NXT. That's all.
You can figure it out. To me, the best example is, Luke, I'm your father, I think is what we all remember him saying.
Yeah.
But he never says Luke. Darth Vader never says Luke. He just says, I'm your father. That's all he says. But he never says Luke. But we all remember him saying Luke. Right?
Maybe it was outtake.
No, he just said, no, I am your father. But we all remember him saying Luke.
Maybe it was maybe we heard it from outtake or something,
It's the Mandela effect. I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's what you should look this up. It's a crazy thing. But what I was going to tell you about when you covered Rey Mysterio, to me, another part that people don't think about with that cover or with the Triple H cover is y'all are the heels in the match going over for the title. You want to get as much drama, yes, but also as much heat as possible. You gave Ray the deepest cover I've ever seen you cover anybody with in the history of your career. It was the deepest, strong, both legs were hooked. Your leg hooked his leg.
It was.
It was the deepest cover I've ever seen.
And then it was probably 3.5 to 4 seconds before the ref actually started counting after I hooked him up.
So Ray was out for a minute, just selling the chair.
You know, there's one of those things to where I say with wrestling, you know, it's certain aspects and certain instances, you should be able to walk, you know, to the snack bar, get, you know, a hot dog, a Coke, you know, and some cotton candy, and then eat it. And then by the time you get back to the ring, the guy should be just getting up to take the big punch. That's what wrestling is. You know what I mean? I should be able to walk around the corner. You know, that's what wrestling is. It's the drama of making the fans feel a certain way. And I tell you, fans felt a certain way about that because I never did. You know, but I never really felt a certain way about the match either. I never lost sleep about that match. And I know people really think I should perhaps have lost sleep over that match, but I never once lost sleep over that match. People talk about the drama that went into it, the racial overtone, and I get there was a racial overtone, and I created a lot of that racial overtone just because I needed that thing to be as real as it possibly could be. And I remember somebody asking me that question too, you know, as far as losing in that match. I know we got about 45 seconds before we got to take a break, but I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, being a kid who didn't graduate high school, being a kid who got locked up in prison, lost his dad when he was a young kid, lost his mom when he was a young kid, and then finding himself at WrestleMania in the main event, like that's a win. I say that's the biggest win that any kid from South Park, Texas could have ever had. And that's no joke, bro. That's right in the God on that right there. I'm serious. So anybody think I lost on that? Boom. Think again. Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Confidence. We've been training long and hard. Ability. Anybody, anywhere, anytime.
One of the most captivating superstars of all time, Booker T's legendary career began in Houston, Texas in 1989. His debut with his brother Stevie Ray in the GWF began a journey that would entertain fans for over 2 decades. And for those 2 decades, we've all dug it.
I came here to give the people what they came to see.
Oh, 61. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
What? Check out the big brain on you. What's going on, baby? You can see my soul through my eyes. I feel like a fool with this outfit on. Will you please tell her to quit looking at me? You want an autograph or something?
Excuse you.
There's never been one so majestic as I.
Captain Booker T. Spinneroonie. There it is.
The greatest of all time. You want me to get you dig that? I can dig it.
Loud and clear, G.I. Bro.
My man, Booker T.
Everybody pays the Booker man. I always wanted to prove that I belonged in the same realm of all those talented guys that came through this business. I always wanted to leave my legacy.
An entertainer in the ring and out, but more importantly, a champion. Tag team champion.
Harlem Heat on top of the tag team world.
We take what we want. We coming for you.
Television champion.
Hey, Beatty, a new world's television champion.
You going for a ride of your life, sucker.
U.S. champion.
I can't believe it.
5-time WCW champion.
We've got a new champion.
It's my time. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
What the hell? Booker T.
Intercontinental Champion.
This crowd feels it. Booker T feels it.
King of the Ring.
All hail King Booker!
World Heavyweight Champion.
The poor kid from Houston, Texas has risen to the top because I got all my people standing behind me 110%. Hey!
Now can you dig that, sucker? My thing has always been about being one of the guys who have gone all the way through it to get to the other side, to look back and say, man, I did that.
It is an honor to welcome Booker T into the WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2013.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations to my longtime friend, my former broadcast partner, a wannabe golfer. Booker T, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Does he ever deserve it, ladies and gentlemen?
I hope he'll do a spinneroonie at the induction ceremony.
I wonder if G.I. Bro's going to make an appearance. Booker T, of course, joining an illustrious class. The Hall of Fame 2013, perhaps the greatest class of all time, will be inducted the night before WrestleMania, sold out at Madison Square Garden.
Boom. Welcome back inside the hall, baby. Hey, man, I had a hell of a career, man. Man. Like I say, I was just flipping through YouTube, and I remember like a year ago, I had sit down at NXT, and I did an interview, and I was talking about all this stuff, and I just happened to see it on YouTube, and I started watching it. I was like, man, it's freaking pretty cool, because I always talked about my grandfather, named James, who lived to be 102 years old, and born in 1889. And I always said, man, I wish I could have seen the slideshow of, his life, and got a chance to see it, like from the beginning. I didn't get a chance to see my slideshow from the beginning, but the beginning of my wrestling career, to the end of it, and, it was pretty freaking cool. The whole ride, my whole time in the business, it's been like so much freaking fun. All I remember doing is laughing most of the time, with the boys, having fun, chopping it up, with the boys on the overseas tours, having fun, just living life, man. So, man, this life has been so freaking awesome. It really has. I say live it up, people. Live it up. Live it to the fullest.
You only got one go around. You only got one go around in this thing. So you might as well try to take it all the way if you can. And to me, and Cole just said it there, greatest Hall of Fame class ever. I can't think of one better than that 2013 one. And it's always great to see the slideshow, as you put it, and to see that 3.5 minute package. You could make a 3.5 hour package on your career, right? Or even longer. But it's just always cool to relive those things. For me, I'm just talking about for me.
No, man, for me, I don't realize it until I see it like that. And I go, wow, man, because I always said I wanted my name to ring with the greats of professional wrestling. And I always, the two names I always said was Nick Bockwinkel, Ric Flair, and then I would always say JYD. Those are the three names that I would always like compare my career of where I had to end up one day, where people remember me like I remember those guys, and man, it's crazy how I've done that. And now I'm doing it from I wouldn't, some would say quasi commentator. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
I'm serious. Well, I can still go out and have like so much fun, like with the Joe Hendry stuff, and still be able to reinvent myself now from a total different perspective, to where, people know I was a wrestler, but now they see, I'm not just, a wrestler. He's actually kind of cool at the same time. You know what I mean? He's actually funny. He's not like, somebody thinking about, there again, the past and what I did in the past. You know what I mean? For me to be able to have had so much fun in NXT over the last 4 years, when this job was only supposed to be 3 months, guys. It was only supposed to be a 3-month replacement job for me, and it's turned into 4 years, and to be able to see the rise, of guys like Trick Williams, Lash Legend, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, so many of them, get their shot, and then boom, knock it out of the park at the same time, So I'm I'm overjoyed. I'm still having like so much fun right now too. That's why I tell people, man, have fun, man, because even now, man, I'm still having like so much freaking fun, at this stage of the game, and it might be the fountain of youth.
Yeah, it's just being around that young energy all the time, and even at reality wrestling, reality wrestling. By the way, reality wrestling Blitz coming to you this Saturday from the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena. Just announced Zilla Fatu will
we
be
got
at
the
that
Blitz.
show.
Hey, before you keep going, I haven't heard the Blitz song.
Oh, we need to be playing the Blitz song.
I haven't heard the
Kevin,
Blitz.
get on it.
Kevin, what the hell is going on? I need to hear Blitz. Yeah, that's a theme song. We paid for that.
But one of the things at reality wrestling, I don't know, was it in 2024? It must have been, or maybe beginning of 2025, is when we had Matt Cardona come in. Matt Cardona had a special appearance with Kenny King, and he ended up, I think tweaking his shoulder, injuring his shoulder, separating, I believe. And obviously accidents happen in the ring, and he went on to really talk about how incredible the reality wrestling facility is and the program that you and Charmel have spearheaded down there. But he goes TNA, always ready, Matt Cardona. We saw him in the Last Time Is Now tournament on WWE television as Zack Ryder. This was just earlier in December, I believe. Yeah. And now he's back on SmackDown, this time as Matt Cardona. And he's back in the WWE family where his wife, Chelsea Green, has been for the last several years. And Chelsea, anybody who's in the know realizes she is such a MVP player in WWE, especially on the SmackDown roster. Yeah. And to have Matt Cardona over there, hell of a hand, hell of a talent, great promo, good character. It's great to have more bodies on that 3-hour SmackDown. A veteran presence like him only can do the show well.
Heck yeah. I feel bad for Chelsea Green losing her United States Championship to Julia at the beginning, the kickoff of 2026. Not a good look. Heading into WrestleMania. It's not a good look, especially if you're trying to make the big bucks. You know what I mean? You got to get on the big shows if you want to make the big bucks. That's just the way the business is. You know what I mean? But for Matt Cardona to be back in the WWE family, I'm happy about it. I think the kickoff was Matt Cardona coming back. Not coming back, but coming to reality of wrestling. I think that's a big plus for most of these guys if they're trying to get back to the big leagues. If you want to get back to the big leagues, guys, come through reality of wrestling. Make an appearance. You know what I mean? You might have a shot at getting back to the big leagues. You know what I mean? Because reality of wrestling, we're doing big things. We're doing big things. And in 2026, guys, we're kicking 2026 off right. We're going to start this thing off. We got Mellow Fellow in the house tonight. We're going to start this thing off right. We got Tephius in the house tonight. We're going to start this thing off right. you remember the song, right? You remember the song. We going to start this thing off right in 2026. So guys, if you want to get back to the big leagues, playing the big time, playing the big yard, WrestleManias, all of that stuff. Hey, you know how to hit me up.
Can I share? We just had an NXT talent at Reality of Wrestling for Sub-Zero, Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints. Big ups for Ricky Saints. Big ups to Ricky Saints. He came in. You know what? I didn't even know he was going to be there. And the thing is, what he did, look here, I don't condone it. All right, let's just put that out there. I don't condone stuff like that. But Ricky Saints, look here, we'll talk about reprimanding him later. We can talk about that. But as far as money, Ricky Saints, the boy's money. All right.
Can I share with the people what Ricky Saints said at Reality of Wrestling to everybody. Can I say, because it was funny to me. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ricky Saints had the line of the night, in a post-mortem, but he's talking to the locker room, giving them some advice. And he was talking about reality wrestling. And he said he had always wanted to come to reality wrestling. And he said he realized he had to get signed to NXT to get booked on reality of wrestling. Which is a great line. Great line. And I hope he doesn't mind to share that because it was a funny line.
Man, it is a great line, but it just shows how hard he worked to get where he is.
Yeah.
It
He's
shows,
a talent, man. He's a
he's-
mega talent.
you know what? He is a talent, and I don't give guys a hard time if they're not talented. I'm giving this kid a hard time, but for him to make an appearance at Reality Wrestling and then show up and show out him and Danny Limelight, the Reality Wrestling champion. Big props. And we're looking to bring Ricky Saints back to Reality Wrestling very, very soon. That's something that we got high on the list here for early 2026 is to get Ricky Saints back to Reality Wrestling and let him do some work inside that 18 by 18 squared circle.
Let me ask you this, because you were bringing up this earlier, and you talk about the young talent and their rise in the business. William Regal had a post about people taking unnecessary risks in the ring due to potential neck injuries. And he shared that he broke his neck, I believe, twice in 93 and then again sometime later in the 90s, once in the ring and then once in a car accident, if I remember his post correctly. And he was kind of making sure that guys don't go out of their way to injure themselves and to think about the longevity not only of their career but of their life in general. He got some flack for it, which was kind of I guess I shouldn't be shocked by it, but it was kind of shocking because it was just good advice.
Yeah. Well,
what did you think of that whole situation?
I'll tell you what, you could tell me about the flack, and who perhaps it was that gave him a little bit of flack, but we got to take a quick break.
Okay.
You are inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in one momento.
Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guarantee. Oh, yes.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. You want to reiterate that one more time, Brad?
Well, we were just talking about William Regal, and he had some comments kind of about neck injuries in the business. And I was actually trying to find his exact quote here, and I had it up just a second ago. Now my phone is giving me the blues right now. But he was just talking about the fact of, thinking about the longevity of not only your career, but of your life and not taking unnecessary risk. There was met with some internet backlash, and thankfully William Regal said he doesn't read any comments, so you don't need to leave him any, but that didn't stop people from doing so. But I don't know. You saw what he had said, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And I heard a couple of the young guys actually give William Regal props on his comments because I can't remember who it was. It might have been Kenny Omega. And he was talking about how young guys sometimes tend to forget and just tend to want to go all out. That's just the way the young mind works. And I get that too. But he said it takes a reminder from someone like a William Regal to take a step back and slow down. And I took that and I go, okay, man, I agree with that, 100%. But me personally, I mean, I commend William Regal for saying anything to these young guys, man, because you say anything to them these days, they think you're giving them, I don't know, flack about, going out there and doing it the way they're doing it. But I don't think that's it at all, especially coming from someone like William Regal. But telling these young guys, not to jump off something. it's hard to tell these young guys, especially me, because I did the Harlem Hangover, I did, muscle drop kick off the top. I didn't do any dives or anything like that, you know what I mean? But I was kind of reckless, a little bit up to a certain extent. But I think I knew what I was doing. I think I knew I was baiting fans to think that was the guy that I really was, but I really wasn't that guy. I really wasn't a top rope guy. I really wasn't a high flying guy. But I had to try to make myself look like that to look a little bit different. But I hated being on the top rope. No, I'm serious. I did not relish being on the top rope at all, and I tried my best to find a way how to stop doing that as soon as I possibly could. And I think probably mid-30s, I stopped doing any of that kind of stuff. I think by 35, I think I stopped doing any of that kind of stuff. But I get it. And I just hope the young guys can take heed. The ones that want to have a longevity in their careers, the ones that don't want to have paralysis, and numbness in their hands, the ones that don't want to have that sciatic nerve in their back, going down to their foot, and they can't walk, and they can't pick up their kid, they can't hold a weight in their hand, and I know it all looks glamorous right now, when you're young and you're out there, you're doing it, after a match, you beat up, you bruise, you're battered, whatnot, and actually that endorphin actually feels good sometimes, man. It's a crazy, stupid thing, to wake up out of bed, know you've been in a war, opposed to having a match and not feeling like you did anything. It's a totally different feeling. You actually, the endorphin make you want that feeling. So I get it 100%. But for me, I start thinking about, and if I can get these young guys a little bit of game, I got into wrestling when I was 25, and I started thinking about retiring when I was 30. Okay. And it's all due to, I got a chance to sit next to one of my heroes, one of my legends that I grew up watching, Wahoo McDaniel. And he kind of struggled at that time to put his boots on. He was in his 50s. And I was like, wow, man, I got to figure out how to get out of this business and still be walking and still be able to, throw a baseball with my kid, football with my kid, play basketball, a little bit, out in the yard, and you have to consciously be thinking about that kind of stuff in order to prepare yourself as far as what kind of matches you're going to go out there and do. That's why I stress these kids, I had a way to work on television, as far as Monday night, pay-per-view, house shows, overseas tours. Everything was different. Everything was different because I was like Cirque du Soleil. You know what I mean? You was going to which show I was going to give you on that night. Sometimes you might get old, and that was the premium. That was the premium show. If you got old, that's main event stuff right there. You know what I mean? But sometimes you might get Zoomanity. You know what I mean?
A whole lot of nothing.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's what wrestling truly is. And I think these young guys need to hear it from guys like a William Regal, a guy that they could, really respect more than anything. So I don't know who gave William Regal hate, but William Regal's a guy that's, he's touched just about every surface of this business. And, he wasn't a kid who came up with a silver spoon in his mouth or anything like that.
Well, yeah, and what he said too, what I want to just give a little context to, he said, I'm 57 and I become less relevant every day, but fame has never been my thing. So most of you doing this stupid, in all capitals, stuff are not going to listen to me, but hopefully a few of you do. Stop it now if you want a decent quality of life after wrestling, because that part of your life will be over before you know it. And wrestling done right is hard. It's hard enough, but broken necks or death are not something you should think is tough or cool. It's idiotic thinking. And, William Regal spent some time at AEW, obviously. He's been around NXT product a lot. I think that there might be a little bit more caution to the wind with AEW than in WWE in general. A lot more acrobatic flip style moves or what have you. But, those things can also run you ragged. And I'm not exactly sure the full extent of Adam Cole's injury, but Adam Cole's, reported to never be able to wrestle again. I think he's even having trouble flying on planes. I think he's just able now to fly on planes again. And it's because of it's just that style can be difficult, and I hope that he's fine and lives a long, great, happy life.
I can tell you this. I wasn't one of those guys who took a lot of chair shots, did anything knew I was going to beat myself up. I was very, very cautious about, what I would do in the ring, because I definitely wanted quality of life after it was over with. And I tell you, in my debut in the Global Wrestling Federation in 1991, all right, my debut in the Global Wrestling Federation, I do a flying knee drop off the top rope, bang, hit the move perfectly, and I tore my PCL in the back of my knee. And the doctor at that time, back in 91, he told me I needed total reconstructive knee surgery back then, right? And I didn't have knee surgery because I knew that was going to wreck my career. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now if I would have had that knee surgery. I somehow rehabbed myself, got my knee back on track, and I went through my whole wrestling career. It literally, no one knew I had a bad knee or anything like that. But now today, that same knee injury have come back to haunt me tenfold. And so and that's just one injury that I should have, perhaps gotten taken care of, back then. But, like I say, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But one injury for me is something that I have to live with on a daily basis. The pain I have to live with on a daily basis. I just had, stem cell therapy to try to see if I could relieve some of the pain that I've been going through, seeing if I, the muscle can regrow itself. I'm trying anything, what I mean? So these young guys, it's not to, hold you back or anything from doing what you do, because I know I have a wrestling school, and there's no way I could teach my wrestlers, to grab a headlock and hold that headlock for 5 minutes. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's a different way, but you can grab that headlock, and you can give me some motion. All right. You can give me some 3-dimension action. All right. And then we can go to wherever we're gonna go. Once we grab that headlock. So my thing is, you can still make it work with what you guys are doing today. And I think that's what William Regal is talking about, guys. You can still do all of your stuff. But I talk about something with my young wrestlers. I never did anything that I couldn't do 10 times out of 10 times in my sleep. If I had to practice it, I wasn't going to do it. It was just that simple, so it's just, word to the wise, and hopefully the wise will pick up on that and take it and freaking run with it.
And just for anybody thinking, like Books, has a story that he's telling right now that helps him illuminate his point. Before we went live, we were talking about his knee, like before we started the show today, right? Like we were talking about how your knee was feeling. Like, so it's not like you're just making this up just for a convenient anecdote to drive home a point. It's real. This is real. I've seen it. I've seen it. So anyway, that's what William Regal had to say. Final couple things before we get out of here. I know that we're running up against the clock here. CM Punk Braun Breaker World Championship on the line. 1-year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. Do you think Braun's going to get the job done? The fans want to know in the chat. And then I have a couple super chats for you.
Not time yet. It's
way too early to me.
I mean, could run with the championship right now? Of course, but I'm thinking about what's on the marquee, okay, and what we're gonna have to promote leading up to WrestleMania, the biggest ticket in Las Vegas, Nevada. And guess who's gonna be there? Guess who's gonna be there? I'm gonna be there. And so my thing is, could he be world champion? Yes, of course. Any day of the week. Is it time yet? I don't. If I had the pen, I don't know. I would say not.
And then we got a wrestling historian. What was your experience working with Chris Kresge? Do you know Chris Kresge?
Chris Kresge. No, I don't know who that is.
I thought you meant Chris Nowinski at first.
Oh, Chris Nowinski. I remember a lot about.
I don't know Chris Kresge. I don't know who that is.
What's his working name?
Yeah, we'll have to know. Let us know who Chris Kresge is. With all due respect to whoever that is. Cali Toenail 3993 says, love seeing reality wrestling represented on WWE TV. On TV first, I kept hearing Christmas Chaos, and I'm like, hey, then we see Eli Knight on the screen, 2026, looking good.
That's right, baby. Eli Knight. Big ups. Big ups to Eli Knight. He had a hell of a 2025, and 2026 is kicking off great for the young man. Got his debut on NXT, and in my opinion, shine like new money. So I see nothing but big things for Eli Knight.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? And you can see Eli Knight in the Stars of Reality Wrestling at Reality Wrestling Blitz. If you want to get the tickets, just scan that QR code on the screen. You can buy your tickets if you're in the Houston Texans area or the greater Texas City area. It's going down this Saturday, 7 o'clock bell time. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
As you should.
No, I'm looking forward to the guys and the girls going out there and representing reality wrestling. First show of the year, first show 2026, and that right there, Blitz. That's pretty much a new title for us. The second year we've done Blitz, right?
I think it's the third year.
Third year.
Yeah.
Maybe I just remember the music
Blitz theme. Yeah.
But around football season right now, the Texans going.
Woo!
Playoffs, you know what I mean? And I think they got a great shot to beat Pittsburgh, man. I mean, Pittsburgh didn't show me nothing. They didn't show me nothing. Only thing they're gonna have working against them, man, is that temperature. That temperature gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. So other than that, I think we can win that game. I really do.
I think we got a great shot. I think we have a great shot to win the game. Our Houston Texans defense can win us any single game that we're in, especially with kind of an older quarterback. You know, he's got to get rushed a bunch. There's going to be a lot of blitzes. There's going to be a lot of blitzes in that game. We just need CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and Schultz and all of our guys on the offensive side of the ball to show up and show out.
You know what? It all goes back to the opening day and that video. Oh, who brought him in? Who brought the season in? Who brought him in?
I think it was you.
I told him we win it. We win it. We doing this thing like it's supposed to be done, and everybody bought in. I want to say, H is up. H is up. H-Town. H is up. Hey man, we got to get up out of here, man. I got to get up there. New Year's Eve tomorrow. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Obafemi going to be taking on that kid Leon Slater, the TNA X Division champion, the youngest X Division champion in its history. So this is going to be a moment for this young man to step into the ring with the ruler, the man, the conqueror, Oba. Oh, so my thing, guys, let's get ready to rock and roll 2026. Brad, appreciate you for all the heavy lifting. Appreciate all you guys, again, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne, wishes, caviar, drinks. Until next time, peace. We love you. We out.